Greetings and welcome to 5 Play Friday Live. I am super excited to be here with our guest today to look at plays and analyze all of the things. Appreciate you joining us today. Special thanks to our show supporters. If you want to show support for the show, there'll always be a link in the show notes below. All right, let's get right to it. I'd like to introduce our guest today. Saadiq Pettyjohn is an NCAA men's collegiate official. He's also a former WNBA referee consultant with the San Antonio Stars and also referee consultant for the University of South Carolina 2022 National Championship Women's Basketball Team. Super excited to have him join us today. Saadiq Pettyjohn, how are you today?
Doing great, Greg. Thank you.
All right. Well, I really appreciate your insights and the sharing your knowledge about how to analyze plays and look at, as like we just say, all the things. And that's what we're going to do today. Thanks so much for joining us.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us, Saadiq. I appreciate it. I'm having a little bit of an audio thing. All right. Hey, we're not going to waste any time today. We are going to get started. Let's take a look. I mean it. I apologize. At play number one. What is going on this play, Saadiq?
Um, let's go back to the beginning. I like to first, always look at positioning, because positioning tells us a lot about what the crew is doing and what they're focused on. Just freeze it right here. Just looking at the position of the crew.
Mm-hmm.
Since the ball is, let's say, at the top of the key, and now he's transitioned, the ball is in his right hand. So there's a high likelihood that he's going to go to his right. I would prefer the lead official not be so close to close down that he will be backed out a little bit, kind of where that gentleman is in the blue shirt, kind of between the 3-point arc and the lane line, kind of wider there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
if
want to
that makes
mirror the
sense.
ball, and we're
We want to mirror the
anticipating move to
ball
the
because he's
sideline.
coming. We want to anticipate what the offense is doing as well. I know we're refereeing the defense, but at the same time, it helps us get into position and see things better if we anticipate. Hey, what's the set here that the offense is running? Is this a horn set, or they're isolating? They're trying to get a post up here on the visiting team player number 2 because he's smaller than the home team player number 4. So that's what they were trying to do.
Yeah, and
Ended up making a bet.
ultimately, the lead gets to where you want. We just sort of want them to move a little
Yes.
quicker.
Right, and he ended up getting out wide to the 3-point arc. And then if you go back a little bit more, you'll see too. I didn't see the trail on this play, but the trail should have this matchup here, the on-ball matchup. But if you
Yes.
go back a little bit more, you'll see the lead. The center official looking out at the ball as well. So now
Right.
we have four eyes looking at two players, and it should be just two eyes looking at those two players with the ball handler, dribbler, and the on-ball defender, and then we should have four eyes watching the other eight players right here. If you look
Yeah.
at it here, now with this, I want to put a caveat. None of these plays, or I don't really know what plays you're going to show, but none of these plays are we want to embarrass the officials or criticize anyone because I've made every mistake that's probably in the case book. So uh, I'm no better than any other official out there.
Absolutely.
But so I just want to say that. But I just think that on this play, we should have the center official looking in, um, and then have the lead official who's focused on his area. But I would prefer the center official be looking in. And something else too, though. We got the trail should have the on-ball matchup coming toward him. You know, although it's right now it's in the center's primary coverage area, it's going toward the trail. It's
Right.
about the inner boom right there, and then the center official is going to take the two matchups in his area. One of them is a non-competitive matchup, and then
Mm-hmm.
there at the top of the free throw area, you see we had I think that was home team number two strike the player for the visiting team in the face. Looks like
Yeah.
either with an elbow or a fist.
So obviously, our elephant in the room here is we have unofficiated flagrant action. This play sees the player in front of him, throws his elbow into his face, and it's unofficiated. And it happens in an instant, right? If we're
Yes, yes.
not observing what we should be observing, we're going to miss it,
It's
bottom
easy to
line.
miss too. And if you look here, Freezer, you're gonna have two players that are almost gonna be moving in front of the center official. So I guarantee you that this center official did not see that hit, because that center official would have certainly called a flagrant foul on this play. But I believe that those two players moving up, you got a visiting team number, I think 21 there, and then you got home team player coming up as well. I think that he may have been straight line instead of stepping down or stepping up to get a good view of this screening action here at the free throw line. That would have been great right there. And something else I want to put out too, Greg, if I could. A lot of times we talk about primary coverage areas, but we fail to talk about secondary coverage areas and tertiary coverage areas. And what I try to put out to my crew, and people can make comments if they would, let me know if I'm wrong on this particular information. When we're talking about technical fouls, intentional fouls, flagrant technical fouls, fights, those kinds of things. Hey, let's throw the primaries out of the window. Let's call those plays wherever they happen on the floor. I wouldn't have minded if the trail official would have called this flagrant foul.
Oh,
Any
absolutely. From anywhere on the court, we want to get
anywhere
that.
on the court when it comes to those. We gotta, because a lot of times I think it freezes us from making the right call because we don't want to, hurt our partner's feelings. We don't want to get yelled at in the locker room, or we don't want to get criticized because, oh man, you called over there, in your secondary area. You shouldn't have called in your secondary. Look, this guy just got punched in the face, and this is a very significant play. I mean, if you look at the crowd and you look at the assistant coaches, they all saw what happened. They're pointing. If you roll to the end, they're pointing at the player laying on the floor. They're like, "Hey, my guy just got hit, or my son just got hit."
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess takeaways for me, let's see.
How do you adjudicate this play, Greg?
Well, obviously this is a flagrant foul. This is an intent to harm. This is a thrown elbow to the face. That is, it's unequivocal. This is not an intentional for excess or anything like that. It's not common. This is a flagrant act. This is not an inadvertent whistle. I mean, not an inadvertent elbow, right? This is unofficiated, flagrant, personal foul.
So what's the penalty?
Well,
And who
Saadiq,
shoots?
in National Federation of High School Basketball rules, the penalty for both an intentional and a flagrant is 2 free throws and the ball to the offended player or their
Okay.
eligible substitute, and a throw into the team at the spot nearest the foul. We've just spent 3 days on rules questions, so we've
Oh,
referred to
I've
that
been
many
watching
times.
them. I'm telling you, I've been watching them.
Okay.
Hey,
So one thing, but the bottom line here is I think we've had a fail to transfer our eyes. That we
yes.
are the center official. There's a on-ball matchup in our primary moving away towards the trail. If we
Hmm.
hold on to that just a spot too long, this happens just like this,
Yes.
right? If we are
Yes.
glancing at the clock or a shot clock or anything like that, and this play, we're going to miss it. And then we see the play go down,
Yeah. And,
and we're not
and
feeling
I
good.
would prefer that center official step down a little bit too, Greg. That would have been great if he had stepped down underneath the home team player number 5 there on that play. He might have got a good view of it. But I think where he was standing, he only seen the back of the numbers of the home team player number 2, who actually through the elbow. It would be great if just move, just
Yeah,
keep moving. Just keep moving. Yeah.
I don't think if we saw any of this play, if any of this action, even if we had a bad look at it, we're going to know
Right.
what happened. I think what we have here is just unofficiated for whatever reason. And so
Right.
when this ball goes away, we'd want our center to pick up this possible screening action, right? We
Yes.
want to transfer our eyes here. That's our only competitive matchup. So that's missing on this play. But things
Yeah.
like this that are unexpected and happen in an instant, if we're not focused where we should be focused, we're going to miss it,
Right.
right? That's
Right.
just the
And,
bottom
and,
line.
and two other points. I know you may want to move on, but two other points. Um, if this player can't shoot,
Right.
he's injured. So A6 is going to come in and shoot those shots, right?
Eligible substitute. Yeah, or their
Eligible substitute.
substitute.
Okay.
And also, of course, our player would be disqualified
Right.
by
Right.
rule.
And also just I would guarantee you, this is just based on experience. I could be wrong, that there was probably throughout before this happened, that there was some tension, there was
Yep.
some trash talk, there was something that happened that led up to that. That play does not happen in a vacuum.
Yeah.
There's probably at least, 3 4 opportunities that the crew can say, hey, you guys knock this off, or hey guys, hey assistant coach, can you help us? I got a problem here with home team number 2, man, can you talk to him or something? I got a problem with visiting team number such and such. I mean, there's something that happened to where we could have stepped in. Now, I'm not blaming the crew,
No.
but just having that sixth sense and that common sense on the floor and being attentive to watching players, listening to them talk and chatter to each other, doing dead
Yeah.
balls, we could pick up on cues.
Well, bottom line also is if there was tension in the game, we would not want to see what we have in this situation. Hold on a second. Let's go 5. Right. So, pet peeve for many, right? Ball, we got a timeout request. Great. Right. Dead ball. Teams are going to go to their benches. We're going to have players
Mhm.
crossing. Do we have a game
Mm,
with any sort of tension level? We are
mm,
observing players as they cross, right? In this
mhm,
situation, we had a player go down. Do we know why that player went down? No, we didn't. We don't. But we know
mm,
that something happened. Is there
mhm,
heightened energy? There's finger pointing, etc. So what we
mhm,
don't want to do is be enamored with the basketball and not
mm,
observe players, right?
mhm,
So,
mhm.
right, and we critique crews, right? Oh, this crew made these mistakes or whatever. But what we're
Yeah.
doing is we're saying, how can I ensure in my game that I
Yes.
do the right things in this situation? That's the only reason why we ever look at clips and
Right.
analyze all the things. Improve our rules knowledge, improve our understanding of how to officiate the game of basketball.
I still don't think that if you look at the body language of the trail and the center official, well, the new lead and the center official during the timeout, I don't even think they were aware there was a player on the floor and how he got there because their
No.
body language went to get the ball,
Yeah.
kind of blase, blase. They didn't even watch the players, like you say, going to their benches. And one mechanic in NCAA men's is that we will during the timeout we will walk to the center of the court to kind of walk the teams to their benches. So you just walk to the semicircle. And I know that's not a mechanic in high school and this, that, and the other. And a lot of people get mad when you throw college stuff into a high school game. But it's just something that you can just be aware of. Hey, let me walk to the center of the court to make sure that these teams get to their benches fine and that there's no chitty chatter or things going on.
Yeah, I strongly recommend for younger officials is this is one of the things that you can absolutely do in your next game and the game after and the game after and the game after. Every time we have a dead ball, we have teams moving to their benches. Make sure that you are aware of the interaction and how they go. Nine
Yes.
times out of 10, there's no energy at all. Everybody just wants to get to the bench and talk to their coach, and it's all good. But we have to
Yes.
build that habit in. And if we do that, we are, as we like to say, ahead of the game.
Yes, sir.
All right, Sadiq. So I have to know, tell me about being a referee consultant with an NBA team or a WNBA
Well,
team.
right. Well, a lot of times during the season, professional teams use high school officials or any officials they can get to kind of simulate, game like play during practices. It could be just regular practice, half court set, so it could be a scrimmage and things of that nature. So we were doing that with Coach Dan Hughes from the San Antonio Stars. And Coach Dan Hughes, if you know anything about him, he's a championship WNBA coach, one of the top winningest coaches in the history of the WNBA. But he's an outside the box thinker. He does not stay within the confines of any box. He likes his players to learn from various sources, not just him, not just the coaching staff. So he allowed me to come in and give him clips and break down clips for his coaching staff and use voiceovers and describe to his team. His team at that time was the highest. They committed the most fouls of any team in the WNBA. And I broke it down to him and showed him how each individual player and their most common fouls that they commit, the most common violations that they commit, and did voiceovers for the team after every game. And he said it was very beneficial. He carried that on from the Stars to Seattle. And I know Seattle won a couple of championships with him. And if you're watching the game, you could see the players hands off, verticality. You could see the players doing the things that that you're teaching them about. The arc plays or the lower defensive box. It was just wonderful to see. You don't see every team that knows officiating rules, and it's a great thing to see.
Awesome. Well, that is tremendous. Thanks for sharing that. That sounds like exciting and fun.
Right.
All right. With that, let's move on to play number 2. All right, hold on a second. Hey, with that, let's move on to our next play. Play number 2. Nope, sorry. Live. 5 Play Friday live. Okay, I'm here. All right. And
While
with
you're
that,
transitioning, I hear people talking about. I mean, I see in the comments they're talking about the hanging on the rim where the player dunked the ball.
Oh yeah,
That's a nothing burger. I'm telling you now. The higher level you go, that player dunks that ball. He's just hanging on that rim because if he doesn't hang on that rim, he's going to swing and land on his back or on his head. So he's not hanging on the rim to try to pull himself up or to showboat or anything of that nature. That's a safety thing. So he's just dunking the ball. That happens all the time.
yeah. And actually, I'm sort of trying to think. It helped me think through the process of this show today. But we have time to look in the comments. Let's do that. Ay, ay, ay. In pieces we are. Well, it's great to see everybody. I appreciate you joining. We got Bob Marshall jumping in from the beautiful San Francisco Bay Area. And of course, our Newfoundland contingent is in the house. We're international here. Good to see you, John. That's awesome. Wow. Jacob's in the house. He made a joke yesterday that I was so immersed with rules questions I did not get it. Jacob loves to troll me about the NBA champion Golden State Warriors.
Whoa, Greg, are you a Golden State Warriors fan?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, what? That's a technical foul. I'm a Boston Celtic fan, Greg. What's going on with that?
Okay, we can do another show and we can break down all the plays from the finals.
This is my last time talking to you, Greg.
Now wait a minute. When Steph with his middle finger goes like this to the fans, is that a flagrant act?
Oh man, the Bay Area. Okay.
Yeah. We have to struggle through with those 4 championships in 8 years, but that's all the thing. Papa Les jumping in from Chicago. Great to see you, Les. Ben Frisch from Minnesota. Good to see you, Ben. Awesome. Jacob. Thank you. I remember at the end of last season, you said something about the pronunciation of your name and that Kraus was incorrect. So I'm looking for that. Jim Best jumping in. Excellent. And of course, Mike Goodwin is jumping in from Alaska. So we got Alaska and Newfoundland. Ray Allen from the Bay Area. Appreciate you. And jumping back in, it's been a while, Tony Dye. Excellent. Great to see you, Tony. from Cleveland. Awesome. Fairbanks, Alaska. We have all the things. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's easy, obviously, Mike, to see it on video after the fact. That defender seems like a pest, right? But and that can lead to a reaction. But those are the things that we have to be aware of and be more anxious, maybe, to transfer our eyes and pick up that play. Mm-hmm. And I agree. The hang on the rim, Saadiq, is nothing. It is not a thing. No pull up. He had players behind him. Right. Yeah. All good. Stan Bickler from Pittsburgh and Richard Stinnett from Chance, Oklahoma. Awesome. Okay. Now we're going to move on. Let me set it up. I apologize. So I'm going to go here. Nope. See, it's my transition between screens here that's my own personal challenge. And with that, a great first play, a lot of learning points, teaching points there for us to get better as basketball officials. Let's take a look at play number 2. All right, what do we have here, Saadiq?
Like we got transition. And we have a crash.
Big crash.
Big crash is right there in the primary coverage area for I would say the center official there, depending on what level you work, but it could be lead as well. Lead doesn't have much going on. They're just getting there to the spot. I think on this play we were at center and lead, not watching what we were supposed to be watching, not anticipating what's coming ahead. We were watching the ball here, center freeze it. See, it's center, if you could back it up a little bit before the crash when the point guard is crossing half court there.
Mm-hmm.
So, you got the trail who's looking ahead. The trail is giving up the matchup here for the ball handler dribbler to the center, it looks like, to tell you the truth. She's looking ahead, and she sees the impending crash coming. And I would think that the lead would have that matchup and take that. But I think the lead is looking at the ball up top. If you look at the lead's head, the lead is watching the ball. Even on the pass, when they're hitting the three-point shooter right there, because on a lot of fast breaks now, they've changed. They don't want to get layups or dunks anymore. They want to get to the corners and get out and shoot threes and kind of spread the defense out. So, boom, look at the lead's head. She's looking out wide there.
Yeah.
And then you have the trail come in and get the crash. And I would guarantee you that this trail official has done her homework. This trail official knows the tendencies of the players in this game before taking this assignment. This particular player, Chelsea Gray, the point guard for Las Vegas, is known for taking charges. She does a great job of taking charges on players with or without the ball. And when I first looked at the play, I thought it was a block. But I know Mike Connors, who's a great official and has some great comments and great content on the Facebook group. He was mentioning that play there may be an offensive foul, and I think Mike may be right. But be that as it may, looking at the crew and the officiating, I think that this was a great tertiary call, coverage area call from the trail official. And look how she calls it, and then look how she moves in and closes down on the play. And look how strong she looks.
Yeah.
I don't right, wrong, or indifferent. She came in and said, "Okay, I got this call. I'm taking it, and I got a block, and you're gonna have to just deal with it." Look at boom.
So my first question is: does this play need a whistle?
Yes.
Right. If we have the mindset that plays that need whistle, our crew is going to put a whistle on this play. The center official does not see it. The lead official does not see it. The trail official, and we've all been there. I am like in the next county over. I'm so far away from the play, but that play needs a whistle. So what am I going to do? right? I am going to get big. I'm going to get strong. I'm coming
Mm,
in, and everybody's
mm.
going to know that that's the call.
Yes,
So
yes,
that is
and I
such
like how
a,
she hustled too. If you look, she took a couple of steps off the end line and waited till the ball crossed the free throw line. But then she took off and look, she's she's in the front court. She may not be at the 28-foot line or at the 3-point line, like where we really want to be in a half court setting. This is transition. This play here, Greg, is what's called a three. I'm sorry. This is a 3-1 play, and I know Damon. As an official on Facebook, he has a group called Basketball Officials Training, and he has a concept called, I think it's 3-1, to where boom, you freeze it here,
oh,
freeze it,
sorry.
go back a little bit, go back a little bit before the new trail comes across half court. Freeze it right here. This play, a lot of times that we fail to remember that in transition plays, a lot of times we're going to have to go to two-person mechanics because that trail official is not going to get there in time to help like she did. A lot of times that trail official in a, maybe a lower level game or, a college game or a JUCO game, that trail official may be back still in the back court. We're pretty much have to be a two-person crew right here to ref this play. That, a lot of these plays are block charge plays, basket interference, goaltending. It could be a plethora of things, but we have to go to our two. It could be an injured player, Greg. It could be a player in the back court that's injured, and that trail
Mm-hmm.
official may have stayed, right? So a lot of times we got to remember. Sometimes throughout the course of the game, we're going to have to transition to a two-person situation on a couple of plays. But that's just throwing something else out there that sometimes we may be a two-person, and we have to officiate like that. But on this play, she got there, she hustled, and she came in and took it away.
Excellent. Hey, so we had a play last week that we talked about on our episode with Chip Clark.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to bring that up. It's a play submitted by Jason Hayes. And it's this play right here
Corner
where we
drive.
had no whistle.
Hmm.
And we talked
Okay.
about what we would want from the crew. And, the action by our trail on your play makes me think about this play because
Yes.
that's exactly what we want. We want somebody to come in and say, that's a play that needs a whistle. I want to
Yes.
have 100% knowledge about what happened on the play and get it right. But I'm going to, with
Yes.
whatever knowledge I have, I am going to come in and put a whistle on that play because we've agreed as a crew, we're going to put whistles on plays that need whistles. And that
Yeah.
if we
Can you
brought
back
that
that play
same
up?
trail energy on this
Yeah.
play,
Yes, sir.
it would have been fantastic.
Can you back that play up just a little bit? We're
Sure.
gonna freeze it.
Right. Right. So we're here.
Yeah. And then right when he gets ready to drive and spin,
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna take I think maybe one or two dribbles. Boom. Spin. Freeze it right here. Go a little bit. Just maybe one more click. Freeze right there. On this play, this is a blind spot area. Um, the lead official sees the back of that defender.
Mm-hmm.
The center official sees the back of the offensive player.
Mm-hmm.
They have closed looks. They're looking here.
Yeah.
They're closed, right? They're not looking here. The only official that can see here is the trail official. Now,
Yeah.
trust me, Greg. I'm telling you, I've messed up calling plays out of my coverage area. I mean, messed up bad, but it happens to us. And on this particular play, you're right. The trail official is the only one who has a open look and who can step down and say, "Hey, you know what? This play needs a whistle." Block
So
charge.
I think a great takeaway for officials would be, right, if we look at that first play and we see the way that the trail said, I'm going to put a whistle, I'm going to get big, I'm going to come in, I'm going to come strong, etc., is to say, okay, I know that that's a model. That's what good looks like for me. And I want to be able to add that in my game. And I
Mm-hmm.
want to have the confidence. And of course, we're going to need reps, right? We're going to need to try that, right? And explore that and get comfortable with that. And then once we are, then we're always going to be able to have it already. So I would say that's a huge takeaway from the play that you brought today
Yes.
is So we could say, is this a block? Is this a charge? Right? But we
Right.
could say it's a play that needed a whistle, and we had an
Hmm.
official who said, well, I have to go put a whistle on that play. And
Hmm.
having that conviction and strength is something a great thing for us to emulate.
Yes. And one last thing I want to throw at you, just from studying film. Studying film is great, and I think that we need to do that more as officials. I think we need to get our games, sit down, and be completely honest with ourselves and say, "I don't look good on this play. I didn't do good on this game," and get a mentor to look at it with you. But remember, the angle that these plays are being shown is way up in the stands. It's not the same angle that you have when you're on the court, on the floor. It's not the same view. So that whole play could change if you have a video camera right where the lead is, right where the center official is, or on the end line. That whole play could change from what you really think you see from a video camera that's way in the top of the stands.
Agree 100%. What's going on in the chat? Let's take a look. El just needs to trust others for the dribbler. It's just this. If we go back to the play, the center is saying, I'm going to pick up that on ball matchup, right? And we just need to we need to know where our partners are officiating as well. The trail says, okay, center has that. What else can I officiate? And our default as L is always to have that big picture view, clock, shot clock, what's the team setting up to do, etc. And then find something to officiate.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
like that. Martin Tim jumping in. Good to see you, Martin. Mike's talking about the play itself. So close. Um, you know, to me, I'm not even looking at that. Right. So the thing on this play that's really important is that this is somewhere in the spectrum of the series. There have been multiple games in this series prior to this. They know the tendencies of the players,
Mhm.
etc. They've got their antennas up for plays like this and how they're going
Mhm.
to call them, how the league wants them called, etc. And so
Yes.
again, we're armed with all of the information that we have on a play that needs a whistle, and then we're going to go put a whistle on the play. Do I have 100%? I saw the whole thing. I saw that. No, maybe I have 75%, right? But
Right.
play needed a whistle. All right. And with that, let's move on. Da-da. Great first two plays. Let's look now at play number 3. That's supposed to do that.
Mm. It's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
Whew.
That's why we're here, to have you help us break it all down.
First question is this legal? Did the defensive player establish legal guarding position?
That is the fundamental question here.
Yeah. And are the officials in the right position to see the play?
Mm-hmm.
Is the call coming from the right official?
Mm-hmm.
And since we have a double whistle, who's going to freeze, blow and hold,
Yep.
and who's going to blow and signal?
Yeah.
Are we going to blow and look at each other?
Right.
You know, yeah. Are we aware
And
that there's another whistle? And lastly, the point that we just made on the last clip. Let's go back to the wide angle. Here it is, right here. No, that's the close angle. That's the baseline view. Yeah, run it, run it. And I'm going to tell you to freeze it, if you would. Okay, freeze. Here we go again. The center official would do good to move. I don't think that we do a really good job at all levels, Greg. And I'm not being critical of officials, but I don't think we do a really good job of moving to improve. I think that it could really help us, on this play, pick up the feet of that defender to make sure that's a help defender. That the center has this primary defender here. She has her. She's beat. Now the eyes have to transfer to this secondary defender that's coming over, and now we got to pick up her feet, and we have to officiate from the feet up, and that
Hmm.
can give us a good indication of is this player established legal guard position and maintain it throughout this play. But I don't think we do a good job of moving. And the lead official is, like I said, is straight lined. When you have a center side drive to the basket, that lead official calling across the paint is just really, really a low percentage whistle there.
Okay, well, this is going to be a challenging play for the system, right? So,
Yes.
who is the primary defender on this play? I would say I'd push back a little bit.
Yeah.
When the center official here, right, ball's
Yes.
deflected, our trail, anticipating transition, leaves the scene, and
Ooh,
we've all
yeah.
done that. We've all
I
done
did see
that.
that. Yeah. Took off.
But our center official has the perfect look on this play. They could
She
step
does.
down a step, but the
Yeah.
player's moving to the right, so they're ultimately potentially going to step to their left. But this
Yes.
is the primary defender on the play. And we could
Yes.
say, okay, but now you have to transfer your eyes. But
Yes.
who's going to officiate this swipe down by gold two,
Mm, yeah.
right?
Who's going
If
to
we,
that dig play, that swipe down from behind? Yep.
yeah,
That's good.
if we
That's a
give up on that too
great point.
early,
Great point.
and we may miss that, right?
Great. And
So,
I think you're right. I think that lead is going to pick up that secondary defender, but it all depends on what level you're officiating at. I think women's mechanics has something different to where if the primary defender is on this half of the paint on the center side, they want the center to take that call, and if it's on the other half of the paint, but I'm not sure about that. I don't want to get beat up by any of the women's college officials. But I think traditionally they let the lead official take the secondary defender, and you're
yes,
right. The center official is going to take that primary defender who was beat, but she swipes from behind, and that could be a first foul. Boom, right there. But it looks like she just hit air. But at the same
yep,
time, you can have a first foul on this play too.
yeah.
You know.
Well, now these are obviously elite officials. These are Final Four officials on this play.
Oh
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
um,
They're a
but
hundred times better than me. But yeah,
but
you're
what?
right.
But we're learning from all the plays. We're learning from NBA refs. We're learning from WNBA refs, from collegiate refs, from high
Right.
school playoffs refs,
Yeah.
from brand new refs. Right? We're
Right.
learning the things that we can help in terms of our discipline, working the
Yes.
system, those
Yes.
kind of things. I believe that this is a charge. I believe our defender is legal, but that's
Okay.
the things that we're going to take away from the play. This is an unusual play. This is a
Yeah.
secondary defender coming from opposite the
Mm.
lead, right?
Yeah.
And I have, how we're going to approach that. Are we going to say, no, I recognize it's a secondary defender? Or do we hit pregame that, hey, I'm the center. If the first player is clearly beat, I'm going to take that first crack at the secondary defender? All of these
Right.
are variables on the play. But one thing we do have that we can say is clearly something we want to avoid is the center official showing early on a double whistle situation,
Yes.
right? If we just had a fist up and then the lead makes their call, leads are
Mhm.
going to tend to go quick, right? We have to, that's human nature.
Mm.
And we need to know our partner's tendencies, etc. So that's the one thing that would definitely pop out as something we can improve is not to show as the center official.
Right. Right.
Of course, with
I think.
women,
I think. I think
women
they would
do,
do it.
unlike other
Uh-huh.
levels, women's mechanics allows in this situation, if we had conflicting calls, the two officials can get together
Mm.
and resolve and say and give the play up to the primary official
Mm. Mm.
who is
I like
responsible on
that.
this play. So maybe
I
we
like.
have to have maybe there's a little more wiggle room in our discipline
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. I like that, Greg. I think that makes sense, and I agree with you. It looks like she was there, and then she just moved oblique. She moved lateral to maintain her legal guarding position before taking the contact in the torso. But I like the fact that the women officials can come together if they had opposing calls and discuss it, and then I think they usually give it up to the primary official. Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I kind of like that. That keeps the confusion down and keeps it moving. I think the women officials game has a lot of great rules, and a lot of other levels need to catch up with them.
I agree. One thing I would say for sure, hold on just a sec, is the ability to advance the ball in the final 59-9, which the NBA obviously has in the final
Mm.
2 minutes or final
Yes,
59-9. And
yes,
NCAA women, I don't know why it's not adopted at the men's level. Just makes the game more exciting, more chance for a comeback, etc.
yes. Yeah. And one last thing I want to add to on that play, I really think that we were too fast in calling the foul on this play. I think that we didn't go through the process of start, develop, finish, process to play, and then make a decision. A lot of times you just hear start, develop, finish, but the start, that's the start of the play. It's developing. Boom, you got the charge. It finished. Now let's process it. Woo, let's make a decision. See how we were all quick with just four hands up, four fists in the air
Hmm.
uh, as the play is still developing. You get what I'm saying? I'm
I
sorry,
do
starting
understand.
the play is finishing, but we have to start, develop, finish, process it, boom, make a decision. It's okay if we're late. You're gonna have coaches. Hey, ref, you were real late on that play. That's what we're supposed to be late. We're not supposed to call on contact. Wait, process that play. Ooh, I don't have to call this. Greg already got a whistle. He's the lead down there. I'm the center official. I don't even have to blow it all. The player who swiped didn't hit. Boom, Greg's got it. Okay, good call, Greg. Boom, we're gone.
Yeah. And of
You
course,
know,
we're looking at a play. It's a snapshot. It's 8 seconds of a game. Much has happened in this game prior to this situation, right?
mm,
Maybe the officials had just looked up at the scoreboard. Oh, it's a 30-point game.
mm,
That's not a thing.
yeah,
But it, you know, so we're looking at a play, we're being critical, but when we do that, we always have to say, what is there here that I can take and learn from? What can make me better? How can I display better discipline? How can I better understand the coverage on a play like this and what habits and fundamentals I want to exhibit? And, uh, you know, 99 times out of 100, what this crew does on the court are things that we want to bring into our game. Again, these are elite officials, top of their
yes, yes,
craft, um,
yes,
but there's always something to learn from every play that we look at. Some things that we should do, and some that we may want to improve on.
yes.
What's going on in the chat? Mike says double whistle. Yep. Post and hold, Les O'Connor. Make that a little bit bigger. Let's do. They're shipping this. Let's do that. Okay. Mike, that's not a thing. We're not looking at the scoreboard. Right? Something that's happened previously. Right? We have no idea what that's going on.
Well, that alludes to sometimes you hear veteran officials say, "Hey, we got a block on this end. You know, if we have a similar play, let's make sure we have a block on this end. Let's make sure we get each play individually right. Each play stands on its own merit. We don't want to go down here and Greg missed a play down here, and then we come right back down. So well, I'm just going to go ahead and match that play because the coach was yelling at us. I'm going to get the coach off of us. I'm going to give them the same call that Greg just messed up on down here. So now we're 0 for 2. So we want to just get each play and have its own merit and have the right official make the right call, be in the right position.
Love it. All right. With that, I'm going to say. Got a great play here. I think you are featured. Dun, dun, dun.
It's probably not a great play if I'm featured.
Oh, I'll be the judge of that. All right, let's take a look at our very next play. All right, what's going on here, Saadiq?
Uh, we got a we got the key player, the best player on the visiting team. He's in the trail's primary coverage area, and he does a step back because knowing that he has the ball, something's going to happen because the offense runs through him. Um, there's no really competitive matchups or any post play going on doing this throughout this game. So lead official looking in the primary with the kick. He kicks out, kind of like the old school Reggie Miller kick into the groin of the defender, and just waiting patiently for the trail to get it. The player doubles over, so just go ahead and call that because it would be a huge miss if that player complains to the coach that he get kicked in the groin there.
Okay,
So
so we're
it's,
calling. This is
I
our.
think it's
This is not our
outside the lead.
primary coverage
Yeah,
area
it's not.
as
It's not.
lead.
It's not in the league's primary coverage area. It's probably a play that the lead official, you know, probably shouldn't have gotten, but got it because the guy got kicked in the groin and yelled out.
Right. Okay. Well, let's take a look at the leads. Let's look at all the things. Let's look at our lead's position on the play. Right. What would you say about that?
Um,
Remember, in our first play, in anticipation of the ball being on the wing, you wanted our lead to move out.
I don't think the lead is in a good position. I don't think I'm in a good position. I think I should be on the E and I should be at a 45-degree angle looking in to the paint area, not
Yeah,
flat.
I agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
And so when
absolutely.
we analyze our own game video, what are we looking at? All the things. Why was I flat? Why was I open? Why was I looking here,
Right.
here? Why don't I just
Right.
move out so I could have a better, less, head movement that I would need to make?
45. I think
Right.
I think I made a mistake because they were running a 5-out offense with no post play, but still I'm in the wrong position there. I should be on the E, facing 45-degree angle looking in because you
Yeah,
got
and
to screen it.
when the screening actions start,
Yeah.
potentially we're going to have some screening action right here. Our look is going to be improved the wider we are here, I think.
Yeah,
But let's
exactly.
watch
And
the trail
not
now.
mirroring
How
the ball.
come?
The lead is not mirroring the ball on this play.
Yeah, how come the trail misses this?
Uh,
Seemed like he
when the
stayed with
trail's
it.
looking at the play, the trail is looking at the play. They're looking
Yeah,
right where they're supposed to be looking at. You see the
yeah.
eyes? Look at the head, the eyes of the trail.
Let's go here.
Yeah.
Come on. He's on it. Looked like he stayed with it.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is a play that's kind of like the couple of other plays that we've already had, where we had the elbow to the face, we
Mm-hmm.
had the team control block play crash, we had a couple of seaside drives. These are some unusual plays that you know there was a coordinator in Texas named John Stigliano. When we would go to his camp, he would always talk about dark cloud plays. There's going to
Hmm.
be plays that happen in the game that are dark cloud plays that you can't anticipate. They can come out of left field. I was watching the game last night, and Kevin Durant was shooting free throws, and here comes a couple of water bottles that's on the floor in the NBA game. I mean, those are things you can't anticipate. There's crazy things that's going to happen, and this is just a weird play where the guy kicks out and kicks the guy in the groin. It's just a situation that happens. Sometimes you just got to be ready for it when it happens. you don't know if it's going to happen or not. But sometimes crazy plays happen.
Indeed. Oh, you're probably a good dancer with that leg kick. I think I like
But
that.
that's unapproved a signal. All you have to do now, yeah, let's talk about that. The
Yeah.
reporting mechanics were terrible. You don't walk out to the table, jog out, go to the reporting area. Let's break the 3 point line, get to the reporting area, and just put your hand behind your head. See, no more punch. Just walking out lazily, kick, unapproved. All that's unapproved. Just put your fist up and then put your hand behind your head and then point with the same hand. That's the approved mechanic for player control now.
In the defense of the calling official, I will say a story was told that people could understand,
Hmm.
right? So our offended coach probably perceived that he didn't really have much of a reaction, but we know what happened, right? We've
Mm.
again, this is something that's dark cloud. This is something unusual. Maybe in those situations we need to be more communicative potentially about what happened. Like the coach on the other end of the floor whose player did the kick out. Does he
Right.
know what happened? He may have
Yeah.
been watching the ball, etc. So, in the defense of the calling official, I'll say a story was told.
Yeah. And here's another thing, Greg, just to add. Remember what level you're working at. The mechanics for, let's say, women's college or men's college or NBA or WNBA, that lead official does have that little sliver of corner there.
Yep.
Whether it's out of bounds or whether it's a jump shot or something like that. But in high school, they do not. So just know what level you're working as well.
Needless to say. Needless to say. Well, Mikey DeRookie, Super Chat. Uh-oh, look out. Thanks a lot, Mikey. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Got the feeling did not have that. I don't think the trail perceived the kick as for what it was.
Hmm.
Da, da, da. Yep, he was looking right at it though. Trail had a whistle on this play. I don't believe that's the case.
No, no.
No. Umar in the house. Good to see you. Yeah, it looks like a pandemic game with gloves.
Oh yeah. This was during the pandemic game. That was right at the middle, at the beginning of the pandemic, and it was okay to wear gloves, mask. We had hand sanitizer, little spray things on our pants loop and everything, so uh, on our waist. So we were just taking all precautions during that time.
Got you.
But of
Now,
course, that's
wait a
yeah.
minute. What's going on with this beckon at the end? Right? Who's going to bring in those subs?
Oh, those subs or just asking for the ball? Yeah, it may be subs, huh? Yeah, you're right.
Oh, was it?
The the should
I
be the
thought you were. I
official,
thought.
should be the senior official bringing in the subs, right? We're going the other way,
Yeah. Oh,
right?
I judged you poorly.
No, but you're correct. That was a test question that I had the other day. It says the lead. I think it was true or false. The lead beckons the subs in or something like that. The lead official brings the subs in. The answer is false. So yeah,
Well,
just had.
so I will say, just looking at the clip on its merits, all the things, and the other two officials' reaction, right? It seems as though, by beckoning in the subs, I'm sort of like, this is my game. I'm doing it all, kind of thing. It's
Mm,
obviously, 10 seconds of time, but that's sort of a vibe if we're bringing those in and not working the system, right? Hey, partner, we got
yeah,
subs, right? Or what
yeah,
have you.
you're right.
That's what
Yeah,
jumps off.
yeah.
We want because we've already come out of our primary to get something in our partner's primary,
Mm,
and thus potentially diminishing them in the
mm,
in the spectrum of our crew, right?
yes,
So
yes.
we want to recognize that fact and support those officials and not make it this is not all about me, right? We're going to put whistles on play that need it. We're going to go out of our primary when it's needed, but we are here to work the system, and this crew is strong, and we are together. So I will say that.
Makes sense. Yeah, makes
jump
sense.
off.
1000%.
All right. Yeah. I got to figure that out, how to do that. I'm going to go here.
Yeah.
All right. A fun play. Let's take a look at our very next play. I mean it. I'm supposed to go here.
All right, Greg. Let's get ready to fuss on this one. Let's get ready to fuss on this one, man. All right, you ready?
Yeah. What do we have here?
This is what I have. This play is on the playground, in the park, with the wind blowing, with the trunks open. We're in the Bay Area. We got Too Short playing Blow the Whistle, and everybody's dancing, and kids are running on the court, and people eating barbecue. This is that play right here, man. It's bounced off the floor, hits the top of the backboard. He goes up, takes a selfie, and dunks the ball. That's where we're at right here with this play.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously not a high school game.
In Oakland. We're in Oakland. We're in Alameda area. And this is this play at the park right here. I'm telling you
That's
right
good
now.
knowledge.
That's what this is. And this ends the game. The game is this is not the final bucket of the game, but the game ends because all the players run on the court, the parents and the kids, and the game is over. This game is over after this play, Greg.
Yeah. All right. So this is obviously an exhibition game sort of scenario. Not a game, but for officials looking at the play and trying to analyze all the things, is this illegal action by our dribbler? We have a player who terminates their dribble there, bounces the ball on the floor, and throws it down. I think what we have by rule is a violation. The player's not allowed to do that. If the player had simply...
Can I challenge you, Greg, right? See,
Okay.
because first of all, you're a Golden State Warriors fan, so you know nothing about basketball. I mean, you're probably like a good football person, with the 49ers, but you know zero about basketball.
The slander.
So me being a Boston Celtic fan and Larry Bird being my uncle, I called Larry Bird on this play, right? Larry told me that when the ball bounced on the floor, the dribbler ended, but when the ball hit the top of the backboard, that's when that player can go legally and throw it down. This point right here ends that. And what Larry Bird told me to tell you was go to 4.15.1 situation A.
Okay.
And let's see if that answers the question about when he catches the ball and then, pushes to the floor, begin a dribble and all that good stuff. So that's what Larry told me to tell you. I just got off the phone with Larry Bird.
All right. Well, so a key question here is we're officiating this game. This is an all-star game or of some sort or an exhibition. Are we putting a whistle on this play that brings down the house? The crowd's going crazy.
That's another element. That's another thing, Greg, that you just brought up, man. Hey, when you're in different environments, man, if you're an NBA official, if you're a WNBA official, if you're an AAU showcase game, which this is, if you're a middle school official, if you're in a high school regulation official, I don't know, Greg. I don't know, man. If I'm coming in blowing this as a traveling violation, man, I might get. Are we gonna make it out of there safely? I'm just being real, Greg. Are we gonna make it out of there safely? Man, I don't know, man. The guys in the chat got to help us out with this. I don't know, man.
All right, well, let's jump in and see what it is. Mike's going to give us the breakdown.
All right.
Illegal dribble. And so if the player at this point throws the ball after they terminate, throws the ball off the basket, and then goes gets it, then that's legal by rule. But in this
Mm,
instance, I think NFHS, yeah, pretty much.
yeah, yeah.
And Mike says, no, the backboard does not cleanse the play.
Okay, okay.
Um,
And that's why you have on your cruise, Greg. This is another point. That's why you have on your cruise, you have that one rule expert in your crew. And then you have the other two officials who go to that official and say, "Hey, what do we have here? What's going on? Help us out." I don't know if we want to have all three of them be rule experts, but maybe so, Greg. Maybe that's the best case scenario if all three rule experts are on the court. But that's probably not going to be the case when I'm on the court.
yeah, so Les has the dribble ending when he does the between the leg things, and that's true. But
Yeah.
then he starts another new dribble. Does he? Is that a new dribble? Huh? I don't know how I would explain it if I put this call in the
Oh, I get
game.
what Les is saying. Les is saying when he took the ball between his legs and his hand was underneath here that he ended his dribble.
Yes.
And then when he threw the ball on the floor, he's saying that starts a new dribble, I'm presuming.
Yeah.
I don't know, but one thing I'll say, Greg, this play happens a lot. I've seen this growing up 1,000 times and never seen an official call a violation on this play. Does that mean that I'm right, that it's right that we don't call a violation on this play? No, but I'm just telling you right now that's the one to bring the house down, and we're just gonna have to eat that one. I
Yeah.
get a
And
call from that signer and say, "Hey, how come you and Greg didn't call the traveler?" Hey, man, look here. Look here, man. All the people ran on the court after this dunk. What do you want me to do, man?
I love it. I love it.
All
Well,
right.
Saadiq, so tell me about the camp that you mentioned, the upcoming 2023 Open Look referee camp. What's that all about?
Well, I did it once in San Antonio, Texas, where I was stationed for 10 years in the Navy, and just to help officials out. And we charged like $50, and we got the best officials in that local area to help us out. And, I mean, can't say the best, but we got officials who were very experienced because in that pocket, you may not know it, but in San Antonio, there's a pocket of officials in the San Antonio Basketball Officials Association that there's some great officials there. From Kenny Belafonte, Mark Veer, John Franklin. I mean, just Reggie Eggins, just on and on. That are really great officials. Aaron Galloway, Wanda Gonzalez used to be there. Just and I just went to do a camp to help some fish between the 1 to 5 years, and we only charge $50. And I'm wearing the shirt now for the open look. I don't know if you can see it for the for the open look camp, and I'm just looking at doing it again here in South Carolina for 2023 to try to work on helping those officials between the years of 1 to 5, keep it low cost, and trying to give them some mentorship and use some video and kind of help them grow.
Awesome. Well, when you have links, send them to me. We'll make sure to push it out. Do you have that now?
No, I'll get that to you though.
Okay. Awesome. We
Most
will
definitely.
put that in the show notes 2023. And which area will that be in?
That will be in Columbia, Lexington, South Carolina area.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
and I want to give a shout out to the officials here as well. We have a great director named Richie Jeffcoat, and we also have Paul Bear up in Rock Hill area, and we have some great officials here. Roy Beatty, and Cassandra Hines. I'll tell you an officiating story that happened this summer. This summer here, we had a player. Let's say he's A3. He comes subs out of the game, just regular subs out the game, goes and sits on his bench. The game resumes. That player just falls off the bench, falls on the floor. He's having a stroke. Uh, one of the officials on the court was named Jamie Banks. She runs off the court, goes over and tends to the player along with the trainer, and they're doing CPR and doing life saving techniques. And I think they went and got the thing off the wall. I forgot the name of it, and
Defibrillator.
They went in because it got to the point to where, he flatlined twice in the
Wow.
gym, and the EMTs took 20 minutes to arrive. So by the time the EMTs got there, he had flatlined twice. They got that thing to try to help him, and the other official, Anita, she was working the game. She said all she could do was pray. She said because she doesn't know how to do CPR, she doesn't know nothing about medical. So you got Jamie Banks working on him, and then you got the trainer working on him, and that player gets into the ambulance. He flatlines again in the ambulance. He gets to the hospital. He flatlines again. They brought that player back to life. He flatlined and passed. I don't not passed away, but he flatlined 4 times, and that official, that trainer, they saved his life. And I think that we don't do a good job of giving positive stories that happens in the gym with officials. And that's one that I thought was a phenomenal story of Jamie Banks here in Columbia, South Carolina, an official, high school official. She saved that player's life.
Wow. That is an incredible story, and what a scene that must have been. Thanks
Yes,
for
sir.
sharing that.
Yes, sir.
And thanks, Saadiq, for joining us today for 5 Play Friday. Much appreciated. It was great chopping up with you, looking at plays, having fun, and I appreciate that. There's social links for Saadiq if you want to reach out to him. Let's make that happen. Look at that beautiful graphic my tech team put together. Gus and Oliver making it happen here at A Better Official Live. So, Saadiq, much appreciated. Glad you could join us. Look forward to it. Do it again. You're now a friend of the show. Come back often, and we'll chop it up and look at plays.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Greg, and thank you for all you do to help officials around the world. I see we got somebody from Newfoundland today, but thank you for everything you do to help officials. Here in this area, we're encouraging officials to use A Better Officials as a resource to improve.
Awesome. Well, it warms our heart anytime we can help officials get better. And that's just the role that we all have. If we're a veteran official, we need to be responsible to give back to the game. And I'm happy I can do that on the YouTubes. All right, Saadiq, have a great one. Take care.
Yes, sir.
Oh, thanks for Saadiq for joining us. I'm going to do some things. Awesome. Mikey is in the house. Yeah, so it sounds like Mike can get you that play, Mikey. I assume this is the bouncing the ball. Kamali Rowan. All right. Good to see you back in the chat. Awesome. All right. I am going to wrap it up. We are going to call it a day for 5 Play Friday. I have additional video content available here. Check it out. Make your choice. Choose wisely. And we'll see you in the very next video. Scenes. Let's see.